Changers. I'm your host, Bella Israel. And today I want to come to you and talk to you today about things that I feel you should be aware of. I was up all night trying to put together what I felt that would be a great benefit to you. You know, I want this channel to be genuine and authentic. I don't want this channel only like going to the restaurants, that's cool, doing some fluff pieces, that's cool, but the things that's really going to transform your life and make sure that when you relocate or when you're traveling abroad, that you have the things that you really need to protect you from the dangers that may lie ahead for you. The thing of this topic was so heavy that I took my notes, so I bought my glasses and I got my pad, so let's get into it. If I didn't say shalom, Changers, and welcome, I'm saying it now. Welcome to Changers, because you guys mean a lot to me, and I want these videos to mean something for you, okay? So let's get going. All right. When you are moving abroad, you know, you really have earned that. You saved your money, you planned it, you're excited, you got something to look forward to. I want you to, when you're moving or flying or visiting some other country, I want you to be happy about the things that you're doing that shows, you know, the fruits of your labor. But I also want you to be able to be aware of other people seeing the fruits of your labor and what they will try to do and the lengths that they will go to try to take that fruit from you. You get what I'm saying? Okay, let's get into it. When you move abroad, you know, you look forward to crossing the border, and you look forward to wherever your destination is, and you have the thought in your mind like a fantasy in some cases. In most cases, you know, like what you think your trip is going to be, you know, you're excited what you hope it may be. But sometimes your fantasies and realities is two different things. And I want you to be able to arm yourself, like the Bible talk about, with truth. And if you arm yourself with the truth, then you will know how to better prepare even before you get on the plane. Even before you buy the ticket, you start to educate or put in your mind the truth of what you could encounter and how not to let those truths stop you from having a great time on your trip. Stop having to let you have a great time when you relocate. It puts things in perspective, a realistic perspective. I want to say reality, and I'm here to give you that reality check, okay? So, okay. When you are moving abroad, when I say arm yourself, remember this term, unmovable boundaries. That's going to be important. That's the theme through this whole video. Unmovable boundaries. Not lowering your standards or your boundaries for anything that doesn't see you as an equal. For anything that doesn't see you for your worth. If they see you for one thing opposed to who you are, it's not going to go good for you. And if you let that happen to you, you're really going to leave on a bad note, and you're not going to fully enjoy your experience. Okay. When I came here, you know, when we first came here, we was excited just like you may be excited now. And when we first came here, we were more like tourists. So we were trying out all these different local restaurants, going here, going there, shopping. You know, we was doing the tourist thing. When we finally came to move here, we started going to shops and restaurants for, you know, chill and necessity. You know, you go shopping because you need something. A lot of times you go before because you want something. But I noticed, like, if I would go to a restaurant maybe 1 or 2 times, you know, I would get to hear people's woes. You know, they would start to tell me their problems. People that didn't even know me. You know, my mama's sick, my mother's in the hospital, She died of cancer. I don't have book fees. I don't have things I need to take care of myself for the upcoming school. I don't, I don't have a way to get to work. Things like that. And I'm like, what? That sort of shocked me because I'm not used to that. And a lot of times this will happen it happened in restaurants or when money was exchanged. And after it started happening more and more and more often, it started to dawn on me, it's the money. It's the transaction of the money. I did not know, like in the country I come from, it's customary to tip. You understand? You get weighed on, you tip somebody, that's good business, right? In Rwanda or in a lot of countries, tipping is not required. So a lot of times when you go and tip, it gave people who were greedy or manipulative or who wanted more from you or saw you more not as a human but as a dollar sign, they began to use that as a gold card or a card to ask for more money. It was like a gateway drug for them. You understand? The tip led to me, I'm giving you money, so I'm going to get more. I'm going to ask for more and more and more and more money from you in my own way. It's entitlement. The greed and entitlement came out, and then therefore the lies and the excuses and the woes. Be very aware of the woes when you go to a country that think or knows that your U.S. dollar is more valuable than their current currency. And when you are in a situation like that, majority of the time, you are not seen as a human being. You're not seen as an equal, even if you live in that country. You're seen as an opportunity. And that's what this video is about. Being aware that when you are in another country where your dollar goes further, that your money is what speaks first. Not your kindness, not your tips, not your righteousness. None of that matters. You're seen as an opportunity and nothing more. That's why I said it became more obvious. Remember I told you when I tipped, because I was using money. And when I started to use the money, that's when I started to get the woes. You see the correlation. All right, let me not get off my notes, but you see what I'm saying. Okay. When that started to happen, I started paying attention to bigger things. Like, because I live here now, it wasn't just like for those that would see me temporary. I started even notice it in the relationships that I had acquired, or I would see you longer than more than 10 times. If when you move somewhere, you live somewhere, you're going to bond with people, or you do business with people, or you hire them for a service, okay? It opens to the door to the entitlement and to the greed. When you do it when you know someone for a little bit longer, it's not as abrupt, because the first group of people, they don't know if they ever going to see you again. So they act quickly. The people that's in your life in a country where your dollar seems more valuable or is more valuable, they do it over a more subtle way, a more, they in for the long game, okay? So they're going to be patient. Their lies are going to be more frequent. They're going to manipulate more. They're always going to have an excuse. This happens, I've seen it in employees. I've seen it in store owners. I've seen it in just local exchange. I've even seen it in the babies. Okay? Let me tell you a story. All right. We were driving in a village one time. And this village is known where the tourists hang out, because we were going to a resort. We were driving, and when we was driving, all these maybe 30 little kids came out running after the car. We're like, oh man, look at these little kids, because I love babies. Look at these little kids, look how cute they are. They were so cute too. But anyway, Like look at all these people, what they running out the car for? Give me money. In broken English is all me and my husband heard. Give me money, give me money. I said, what? Give me money, not, where I come from already, you saying give me, you didn't say may I have, was also, that was a boundary. That was a line that in my culture you don't cross. You don't ask for something like that. You ask with a more respectful way. But that entitlement was bred into those little kids at an early age. And they understood that if you was a tourist, give me is all you was expected to do. I don't want to get to know you. You thinking that I like, they was straight up blunt up front with what they want. Give me the money was all they wanted. And if you gave them the money, you started to lower the boundaries or the standard. Out here or in countries like that, if you allow people to lower your standards, they will become more and more and more entitled and more disrespectful. And they will use you because you are a mark. You're known and seen because you're excited and caught up in the trip. You are putting yourself in a bad situation to where you can be used. And I don't want that to happen. Ladies, we are very caring, especially my people. We are some of the most beautiful, loving, caring people. And we always want to help. We always want to fix something. But I'm telling you, Africa is okay. Africa do not need you to fix it. You're not going to save any country where your dollars is more. If you want to come and serve and get in a cause and you studied it out and you know it's legitimate, okay, fine. I'm not saying don't help when you know the people. But when you don't recognize the hustle, it's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you your money, your time, your peace, your patience, and it's going to make you resentful. For instance, if you go like when I first came, even now, it don't matter. It don't change. When I go to a store, you hear my accent is not from their country. Automatically, I can see it. I can see it in their face. Click, click, click. Go off. Oh, I'm gonna raise the price. Oh, how much is this? How much is this pencil? You know the pencil is cheap, 20 cents, right? Maybe 20, 30 cents, 40 at the most. $20 for a pencil? Come on now. You think I'm stupid. And you think that what you're doing can't be seen. And when that happens not one time, 2 times, it happens 10 times in a day, you can become very frustrated. And you can become disillusioned or frustrated with the country, but really you should be frustrated with you. You're mad at yourself. If you give in to, especially if you walk away paying more for something you know is cheap. Never, ever let nobody hustle you in a way to where your boundaries or your standards is lower just to gain. To counteract that, I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to tell you the quick way to do is to say no. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not paying you that. No, that's not worth that. No. Saying no is pretty powerful. And you need to be prepared and disciplined enough to walk away from whatever they say no to you to. If the price is too high, you're going to have to be disciplined enough to walk away and don't get it. Walk away with your peace. Walk away with your peace of mind. Walk away with your dignity. Because as soon as you say yes, the next time they see you in that store, the price is they're going to find another way to keep on hyping up them prices, and you're going to be made to look like a fool. Don't let nobody make you look foolish in no other country. You've worked too hard for what you got. You came here with great intentions, and even though when you encounter poor intentions, don't let that change you. Put them back into their wretched place, and you keep your vacation or your relocation in perspective, because you came here for a purpose. Don't let that deter you. I've seen many people leave broke because they didn't say no. I've seen many people leave without setting boundaries. I've seen it in business. I've seen it in travel. I've seen it in, I think I told you with the look. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how old they are. That's really what I'm trying to say. It could be 2 or 100. If you see that scheme going on, say no. Put a set standards. Because as soon as you lower it, it becomes disrespect and entitlement, and is really rooted in greed and arrogance. And once you see that in other people, you're going to get an attitude. But you've been warned, so you can prepare yourself, because these are the things that can happen when you're looked at as a dollar sign and not a person. Okay, let me get back to my notes. I want to say that these things are done in different ways. Dude, I see it a lot. Ladies, I see it a lot with relationships. Let me touch on that for a second. I see it a lot because women, we are more nurturing, we're more loving. And if you come here lonely, that's going to be detected. If you got a lonely hue around you where you're needy, that's going to be protected. Anybody that's setting up a mark knows and can see your vulnerabilities. Get that under control. Get that under control before you even enter any country. You may want something, but you only need the Most High God. You understand? You don't need nothing but the Most High. You may want something, but you don't need it. That's a difference. That's a different energy. All right, let me get, because I ain't got my head covered and I don't want to get in trouble with the Most High God. Any relationship that is rooted or centered around money is not a real relationship. If the core of it is money, it is not a real relationship. It's not a real friendship. It's not real family. It's not even a real romance. That's another thing. If you are dealing with someone and money is the root of why you all are together, or opportunity, that's not going to ever equal love. It's not going to ever really equate genuineness or authenticity. It's not real. It's fake. I'm going to create other videos in the future about loss, or about the things that you should be aware of when you come to other countries, because what I'm saying today is sort of broad, but when you break it down into smaller topics, in the future you'll understand. I could go in more detail about fake relationships with men. Okay. That's the second part of what I wanted to say. I said about the pseudo relationships, like you adopting a kid, or we're in the village where I live in, there are a lot of college kids, and I think I said that before, but you tend to hook, man, she like a son, she like a daughter, or this kid reminds me of my niece. Oh, man, they like my grandbaby. You get what I'm saying? But that, if it's based on what you can give them, that is going to fail. That is not going to be a solid, spiritually based relationship, and you're going to come out hurt. I see it all the time. I see it all the time out here with women, with men. If you with some dude that you're paying for everything, or he's only with you because you have, or your connections, or who you know with the expats, or he's only with you, you're paying for everything, and everything is rooted around your money. I don't care how sexy he is. I don't care how fine he is. He is not there with the right intention. And if you lie to yourself, you lower the boundaries, therefore you lower your standards, And their entitlement and their wicked greed is going to come out, and they're going to become more disrespectful to you. That's how abuse happens. You lower the standard, and they become more and more and more disrespectful. You let things slide, get away. No is the magic word. No, being willing to walk away is the solution. No, I'm not putting up with that. No, I'm not giving in to that. If you are dealing with a relationship like that, sisters, you have to know that that's fake. That's not real. And you, again, will be hurt in the end. So I don't want you going to any country, dealing with any man that's going to use you for what you got, what you worked hard for. If you are transitioning, you just there for temporary or you there permanent, be aware that these things can happen. You understand? All right. I touched on it a little bit earlier about pseudo families. And, you know, like when I had a ministry and I went into the prisons, I seen that a lot. Where in the women prisons, you know, they would make up families, because that's, you know, with family oriented. They would have a mom, they would have a dad, they would have grandparents, they would have the baby, the niece. They would make up these pseudo families. And out here, I see that too. It's nothing wrong, again, with having proof. The Bible says proof. At the end of this video, I'm going to present to you some scripture. Don't just go and take the wisdom that's coming out of my mouth. This is coming from experience or what I see is happening, or what I, know I'm not going to put up with. But the wisdom comes from what the Bible says. And I'm going to leave those scriptures at the end because, again, my head is not covered. And I don't play with them. I don't play with the Most High God. I'm going to leave that at the end, and I want you not to skip over that. Take the time to meditate on that. Use it as an armor so that you can protect yourself when you're coming to these other countries that see you only as a dollar and not as the kind person you are. No matter how sweet you are, no matter how you're doing it in righteousness, even with sharing my faith with people, I would also get the woes. Oh, they'll use your righteousness or your godliness as a door or a gateway to ask for more money. Greed, because they don't see you as a local, or they see you as a person. They just see you as money. And I want you to protect yourself. So in conclusion, ladies, by saying no to the BS, let me say that again. Okay. By saying no to the BS, the lies and manipulation early, it keeps your boundaries high, the expectations high, and it makes it mandatory for people to respect you. I don't care if it's your employee, if it's your driver, if it's somebody you're doing business with. If you lower the standard to accommodate the greed, and it's an imbalance in the transaction, and your boundaries have to be lowered and lowered and lowered for you to get what you want, that's a red flag. And you need to be willing to walk away from anything that is disrespectful and lowers those standards for yourself, okay? By keeping both your boundaries high, it also keeps your peace high, your purpose high, your principles high, and it keeps that bank account high. It will also give you a quality of what you're paying for. If you're coming here for a vacation and you want a good time, arming yourself with this wisdom can give you such. If you're staying here for a long length of time and you're building relationships and you're building business, any kind of relationships, business, friends, colleagues, staff, employee, I don't care who it is, keeping them boundaries unmovable. I mean, keep it like a brick, like solid. I was gonna say like this wall. Keep it solid, unmovable. Keep your standards in this that lines up with your principles of righteousness. Doing as you want done to you. Allow them to do that for you as you do unto others. I hope I said that right. What you want the same in return. If I'm kind, I want you to be kind. If I go into your store and I'm gonna be loyal to you, I want you to be loyal to me. That's perfect in a great that's perfect in a great world. But in some countries, when you're looked at as a dollar, they don't see you like that. They see you like, I'm going to get what I'm going to get today because tomorrow may not be here. My African friend told me that one time. I'm going to get what I'm going to get today. That's how some people think. I don't care about tomorrow because tomorrow may not come. I don't got to be loyal to you. If you understand that that's the mentality of the people you're dealing with, where money is the main factor, then your feelings won't be hurt and you won't lose. Be willing to walk away and be willing to say no. All right, family. Again, as always, changes. I want us to go and change the world. Go and change the world for the Most High God of Israel, because He deserves it. And you too deserve change that's going to change your life for the better. But don't let nobody change you for the worse. And with that, I say, Shalom.